Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Today's food concept is chopsticks. And I would argue of all the food concepts, this one is probably better known, more exposed to the Western because it's so exotic, right? I mean, back then, now it's quite common because Chinese, for one, they are spreading around the world and people get to encounter Chinese food and Chinese utensil. I mean, the way to eat Chinese food. Okay, I would argue the reason why chopsticks become such iconic utensil, it's because it's so versatile. Except for soups, you cannot really eat with chopsticks. Everything else is you can handle it with chopsticks, and it's almost comparable to the tongs that in the Western world, when they flip a stick, you have to use tongs, but we can absolutely do that with chopsticks. How chopsticks is made of linguistically? Okay, on the top is bamboo. So it's a categorical symbol to mean it's made of bamboo. Okay, a second reason of chopsticks is because it's so cheap. Bamboo is the major building material, furniture making material, and utensil making material. It's everywhere. It's so prevalent. Probably I shouldn't say everywhere because I grew up in northern part of China. I never get to see bamboo until when later I grew up and visit the southern part of China. Then I see the real bamboo, and but it was very prevalent in China and a cheap material. Therefore, our introduction to bamboo actually is by contact with chopsticks. Okay, so the mid-century icon that I call it, the bottom part of it, you can see from here, pronounced as quite. So it means speed. Speed, bamboo, combined together make chopsticks. So why speed? Because it facilitates you to eat faster. Hunger was a major struggle back then. And so the way you can eat things fast really matters. Imagine big households back then, right? Even if like everybody have their fair share of food, but if you are a faster eater, you definitely can get more nutrition, right? So speed eating, I would imagine, was a big part of growing up, a big part of sibling competitions back then. And so chopsticks is the tool, if not the weapon, uh, for you to empower yourself to access food quickly. This concept of speed is made of three parts. The left is the heart, which is a pump with tube in, tube out, and the tube to supply the pump itself. I think that's a fair depiction, abstraction of what heart is. And then the top is the food symbol. It's actually shoed food symbol because it's a footwear. We have two decks. The top touch your food, the bottom touch the ground, and then the middle is the vertical line combiner of the two sides. And then you can wear that. The bottom, ancient times we don't have footwear industry. It was made from natural material. It's handmade. The bottom right is the three-finger hand symbol. So oftentimes we don't depict all five fingers, just three. And specifically, it's from bottom right part of the screen. So it's actually a right hand. And this is your right foot, which is facing toward the left, which is the default directional facing in Chinese language. It's something I only discovered after a long time doing this. We have human figures facing toward the left. That's a default facing direction. Okay, so you have foot, hand, heart, three icons together to make sense of speed. And actually, there is a second meaning of that. Not only it means speed, it means joy, means happy, means merrymaking. So why? Speed, I would argue, the heart symbol in Chinese back then, not only attached to your emotional processing, but actually it's symbolizing your whole nervous system, how you're wired. And then the foot and hand are expressions of how dexterous or how speedy, how fast you can run, go about, right? So this hard hand food coordination almost like symbolize how coordinated or how fast you can get things processed, get done, and how responsive you are to the environment stimuli. So this hard hand food together make sense if they are well connected. You would be fast in doing things. Okay, so second, happiness. I would argue if your heart, in this sense, it will be emotional processing heart, is happy, you're going to show it by clapping your hand and chomping the food, right? So just like the song, how are you going to express it? You're going to express it with the the terminals of your body, which is hand and food, having them as the expression to what comes from you. So if speed is your responsive react to environment, and the second one is your expression of yourself, how you're feeling internally. So both of them making sense and connecting this, the heart essentially is the brain with our body, the hand and foot. They make total sense of how we humans operate. Okay, so in this case, it's a speed. Speed eating was a thing back then, and it's made of bamboo, so chopsticks. Another version of chopsticks is bamboo plus the definition concept. Okay, this bottom means definition, and I guess together it means what's defined or what's a good definition or representation what bamboo is, because bamboo, as any kind of major categorical plant or anything on the planet, would have a ton of variations, subcategories, subtypes, right? And what would be the one that's going to represent the whole category of bamboo? And that's the the type of bamboo we're talking about. So you can view it as the classical or typical bamboo because it's kind of dominates the whole category of bamboo. Okay, I don't want to go into why this means definition, but we have seen the symbol many, many times in the past episodes. Expressions one, we talked a few episodes ago, is the bowl, right? It's what's hold the food. And then quai is what's used to reach the food. So one, quai together is the two essential eating utensils. With that, you can eat anything, even the soup. You can hold the soup in the bowl and just drink from the bowl directly without using the chopsticks. But chopsticks is very versatile. And quai is our everyday expression of chopsticks. We don't just say quai because that sounds short. Normally in Chinese, when we express a concept, two sounds, because Chinese sounds are limited and we are single syllable. So to differentiate to disambiguous things, we have to at least come up with two combinations. So in this case, it's a quai plus zi, which almost like this zhu. It's like the thing, chopstick thing. You can view it like that. So that way in our verbal communication, there's no confusion of this means chopstick because it sounds the same as speed. So we don't mistake it from another thing, right? So we use quais in our daily life. For example, I want to get my quais. I mean, that happens so much in our daily conversation. Get me the quais, right? That's the thing when you start eating. So quais is what we use. And there you go, chopsticks. And I want to point out one more thing. Not only is it eating utensil, I'm currently using it as a cooking utensil. So when I do stir fries, I use quais. Chopsticks is so versatile. There you go. Thank you for your time. See you another day.